let there be light, and there was light. Okay, so it's really wonderful that I'm often able to just tune into the light affirmation, because of course I had my other sort of anchoring point before, and so I'm kind of like amused with my transition, because sometimes I do start off with the old one and I delete it, I must confess. But generally, I'm doing pretty well on this, because of course everything is with persistence, and consistency is key. Yes, well, that is Mother Eve too, being very consistent with us. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. I love numerology. So that would be my anchoring point. That would be my main introduction to my videos. But now I have found this wonderful, powerful affirmation, let there be light, and there was light. I just love it. And it's one of those things that it's like having a eureka. You just know, you don't need to question it. Although it was so powerful when I first realized it, I still did question Mother Eve, and I said, but Mother Eve, you know, if that was your first affirmation, your first spell, so to speak, that must be the most powerful. Yeah, it is the most powerful, you know. So that was really, really wonderful. And sometimes we do know the answer of, to something, but there's another juice, another joy that we get in just getting that re-established, or reaffirmed, or just reflected back at us, you know, because again, that's the power of two, the power of two. Of course, in our own makeup, we are dealing with two. We are dealing with two minds, the left and right brain. We are dealing with two opposites. But there we have the other realm that we deal with, the external world. We like to have that that representation as well. So we are talking numbers because we are talking numerology. And so we have done the magic numbers up to 4. And let's look at 5. Now, of course, I have got lots of presentations that I have done. Perhaps there's another magic of number 5 already. But it's really going deeper, understanding the dynamics of the words, because Mother Eve have asked us not only to count backwards, but she's also letting us know that the numerical values of the words are more potent than the utterance of the words themselves. So that's really something very powerful to know. I think so. Okay, so in that case, wouldn't it really serve us well to know the vibrations of most of the words that we use? And I think another thing is when we understand the construct of the words themselves, like for instance, the word there and 3 is really the same, 11. So off head of my mind right now, I can tell you that a few words, and like my mother says, when my grandmother says, when the bell goes, you're speaking the truth. That means everybody who is in that vicinity hearing the bell is speaking the truth in that minute. This is so amusing. Okay, so things that really hold the same vibration of 11, for instance, we have white, colors, black, yellow. Those hold the same vibrations of 11. Now, there's another thing, the magical thing, because in the first statement is let there be light, and we have two 11s. So the word there, THERE, and the word 3, of course, the magic number. All these are master numbers. There's another word that it happens to be one of my favorite words, of course. This is why I am doing this YouTube channel, Wisdom. All these have the numerical value of 11. Now, of course, there's another word is it 9? No, not 9. In numbers, 7 is 20, but it depends on how we add 7. Of course, if we do 7, because I like to do this, Mother Eve has given us the okay to do this. This is, so I tend to encircle Mother Eve, which is 5, and add these here together. Of course, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 plus 5, or 6 plus 5 is 11. There's another way of looking at it. So when we get to understand the makeup of the words and so on, we can then really relish in their value, in their construct, in their makeup. Now, of course, we can see why these are called master numbers right there as well, especially with the word there, THERE, which has in it hair, which has in it he or her or air, and of course it's there. So there's magic, master number. Wonderful. Okay, now we want to look at the number 5. Number 5, of course. Now I'm just doing this intuitively in the sense of there is much more to all of this than we could begin to imagine. So we are looking at 5. I like to look at, I haven't done that with numbers 1 to 3 or to 4, but just look at this here. It has a balance. It seems to balance in its masculine and feminine. I'm not even sure if it's really balanced in the sense of the area that this part occupies, because I was paying close attention to the number 5, and I realized that the bottom part seemed to be more impregnated naturally than the top part, which is really a 7, sort of like this. So this is like a 7 here, or an L, which is really in line with Mother Eve's first word when she says let. We could see there is an axe, or an L, or a liver. So it's like the liver is really had opened the womb, so to speak. This is perhaps where God, the said God, also had said, God also said, let the waters bring forth all great creatures, that which have life after its kind. So the creatures, of course, would be here. That's what. Okay, so we see 5, and of course, this is the liver to help unblock or open up the womb. Okay, so 5, of course, is the 5-pointed star. I did this before, and I'm trying to work out how else did I do this. Okay, let's just have a unique a unique 5-pointed star. Okay, this is a unique 5-pointed star, of course. All right. I mean, we all unique in our own way, so this is a unique. It has to be the most unique 5-pointed star. Okay. Right. Okay. So, so this is a 5-pointed star. Now this is us, of course, and this is your arms here and your feet. Okay, and your hands. So of course we add a 5-pointed star right here. Number 5, just giving you examples of where and how we can see ourselves. Okay, because we are also snake, which is 5. Adding this together, 10, 13, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. And we are also Eve. Eve and Christ, EVE, 5, 4, 5. Adding this together is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Now we have got lots of things to give us this 5. But we want to see the side of in Genesis of chapter 2, for instance, where there's the 5 gods. That's in addition to the 9 gods in chapter 1. So we have the 5 gods, but that's our 5 senses, which is really Mother Eve, again, making her presence felt to the T. Hence why we have 3 5s right there. 3 5s are 15. And as I always said, wherever we see 15, which is also termed as the love number, by the way, which of course is 6. Where we have this, we have Mother Eve right there, and this is love. This is love. Okay, Mother Eve is love. We don't hear it like that, but Eve is love. Now, how is Eve love? Let's just do this. The word love equals 3, which is the first letter of the let there be love. Okay, 6, 4, 5. Adding this together, this is 15, 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Now let's see how 6 becomes the love number here. So when we do the numerical value for 9, this is 5, 5, 5. Again, Mother Eve is very present. 15, this would be 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. So that is how we have the love number right there in senses. So our senses are there. Now let's add this together. Okay, we had 5, 1, 5, 1. Of course, this is 3 5s, 15, 16, 17, 18, which again takes us right back to the love number. Our senses is love, in essence. Love is our senses. This is why I say, you know, get to your senses, get to your senses. And in actual fact, we all know now that we have 6 senses or 6 sense, but it's that we have been conditioned to cultivate the 5 senses, but Mother Eve is now ready to show us how to activate the 6th sense. Now, there's another reason why Mother Eve is trying to point our direction to the importance of activating the 6th sense. She is saying even in the 5 senses that you have, it's also have in it the 6th sense. Now she shows us this in the word 5. That is 5, 4, 9, 6. Adding this together, this is 9 plus 9, 18. That would be 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So she is really showing us that in 5 also is 6. So we had learned the symbols as if everything were separate. There is no separation. Everything is has a seed of its kind in the other. So basically 5 has the seed of 6, and 6 have the seed. Oh, thank you, Mother Eve. And 6 have the seed of 7. Here, I haven't done this before. Mother Eve is talking. So that's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so this is 15, 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So let's just look at this, because Mother Eve obviously wants us to see this. In 4 is also 6. So 4 has just done a quantum leap. 4 has done a quantum leap. Because why 4 has done the quantum leap, I'll show you where this has happened. It's really in the north, south, east, and west. It's really, yes. In 5, for instance, okay, let's look at this. Okay, let's do it this way. The 5-pointed star is something to that effect. And we have 4 points. Okay, we are looking at 4, but this is 5 here. But what it is, where 4 is really asking us to get to that sixth sense by taking a quantum leap into the five, by having our own internal crucifixion, we could say. This is where the legs are closed. For instance, your legs, the two legs are lapping over each other, like when Christ had the crucifixion. So I'll do this in another way that can make sense, hopefully. Okay. So basically, without so this is Christ, and without having the crucifixion would have two legs, his 2 feet firmly on the ground. But to have the crucifixion done is really having the legs lapping over each other, of course, and feeling giving up, totally giving up altogether. Is that giving up of the lower self, giving up of, when we say giving up, is really allowing the serpent to take its rise, and of course activating the kundalini. That's what it's about. That's why the serpent had taken the lower role. In the cast, it had been cast to the ground. It had taken the lowest role to show mankind all of its nature. And that is what Mother Eve did as a snake, to really cast on the ground, to show mankind their footsteps. Where do you walk? How do you walk? Where do you talk? How do you talk? And all of these things. How do you sing? What do you sing? Basically, that's what Mother Eve had done. But now she's telling us it's time to take our rise. It's time to take our rise. Okay. And that's where the 4 had leaped into 5, because the serpent, of course, it's like the 5. The 5 was low, L-O-W, in this sense, 5, 6, and 3. When we add this together, 9, 12, 13, 14. This is 14. This is 5. This is where the serpent, the snake, had taken a low stage, at the low part of the stage, to really show us that, it's this, you have to be grounded. You have to be grounded, but you do not stay on the ground without taking your rise, because life is a process. That's what the serpent is saying to us. Okay. So we can see that 5 is very humble in its way, but it has the ability, and that's another reason why Mother Eve say, I want you to count backward, but she's also instructed us to actually look at the 5 another way. It's like really doing something like that. It's the reverse. She's really asking us to set that which we had done, how it was done, make this the foundation now, and take your rise up. Go up the spinal cord right now. That's what, which is 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. So you can become the serpent. She wants us to now get into being the serpent, the wisest of all creatures, that which was in the Garden of Eden. Of course, 159, 7552. When we add this together, becomes 34. We have done this. 3 plus 4 is 7. So that's where Mother Eve wants us to get to. Now, we are talking about 5. We are talking about the pyramid. The word pyramid, Pyramid, of course, and it also is of 7 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, PY, 7. So this is 7, 7, 9, 1, 494. Okay, and what we have there in the middle of all this is the number 1, which is A, and that is also in the heart, Heart, in the middle of the heart. Now, these are things Mother Eve really wants us to pay attention to. And of course, the word heart is also 7, like it is for pyramid, and the word earth as well, the word earth too. Now, looking at 5, of course, let's look at Christ, Christ. That's the Christ spirit we are talking about. This is 9912. Of course, this is 20, 29, 42. 32, of course, this is where Mother Eve. Now, that's another thing Mother Eve is showing us. There are 2 ways of looking at this. You can still end up, whether you recognize the snake as a snake, but you have to it needs to take a high position within you, which is where your pineal gland is. The word pineal gland actually equals 5 as well, or having the kundalini, which is also 5, though the Christ spirit, which is also 5. So here Christ is 32, and now to show us, we have seen the word low as 5, which is 5. We had 14. It was 14, exactly like Eve. This is where Mother Eve, I've got to say this, Eve and low, of course, both equal 14 right here. But Eve, this is where we hear about the Eve. This is the function she really plays out right there, where it's like the eve of an event. That's what Eve really means, and I checked it out. It's the eve of an event. Eve is the eve of any event. So she takes the foundational position right there that has both polarities, and where we are able to make the choice of what we do or how we do what we do. And so I think that's really beautiful. And with Eve, she is really ready to tell us, you can really do as you wish with me, because the E is E, and it can be 3, it can be 4, and it can be W. I mean M and W. And it's that 8-petal flower. So she is really saying, no matter how you look at me, you can make anything of me. Now, as the serpent, of course, we have seen this is where she becomes 7. We have seen how she becomes 7. We have seen her as the said God. We have seen how she becomes the said God. We have seen how number 5 is also number 6. And of course, number 6 is the said God. We have also seen when we do the numerical value for the word 6, it is 7. And then that becomes the serpent. We see all of that. Now, we see that as the low vibration, if we want to say, but she's ready it's her way of meeting us at the point of where we're at. The other thing that I wanted to say now, as Christ, this is what she does now. Now, I'm not sure it's the same numerical state, I don't think, but let's look at that. This is 8, 9, 7, 8, 2. So 10, that would be 26. That would be 30, 26. That would be 34. 34. Is that correct? Or 30. Okay, let's do this again. This is 10. This is 26. 26 plus 8. Okay, let's do it like this. So this is 14, 4, 34. Right. I've got something wrong here. H-I-G-H. We don't need this. H-I-G-H. Not height. H-I-G-H. Right. Okay. I've got a good memory. We can see the 2 8s at the end already tells us of the magnitude of the 2, because this is like saying these 2 eyes right there. Okay. Now 8 and 8, 16. And of course, we have 16 here again, which is 32. This is the point I really wanted to make. So we can see that when she takes her high, or Christ is high in this stage. So Christ is the high that is activated in the third eye. This is Christ. Okay. All right. That's the serpent, the Christ spirit. Well, I just thought I would have a short thing on number 5, and we are talking about 5 as in, I wanted to touch on Moses with the 2 sets of the tablets as well. So there was one set of 5 tablets. That was 5, which was like the 10 commandments rather. 5 for God and 5 was for mankind. We could say 5 was for man and 5 was for God. So I wanted to say a little bit more on that. And we have seen, of course, God is 8, man is 1. If we add this together, that comes to 9. That gives us full circle here again. But I'm going to leave this as it is, and perhaps do this in other presentations. Okay, of course. Just tasters. As we say, there are lots of wonderful words. The 5, in fact, it almost seems like I've shortchanged this presentation, because 5 is so wonderful. It has so many words that like the word breathe, like the word breathe, and Kundalini, and there's quite a lot, but I have done this. If you are interested, there's lots I have done on those numbers, and it's really wanting to show, to remember, when we look at ourselves as the 5-pointed star, we are also number 6. We are the 6, which is the 6th sense again, that Mother Eve is wanting to ensure that we activate that 6th sense, because the serpent is really Mother Eve, that is in our lower chakra. That's if we have not activated that 6th sense, and is seeking to take that rise like it will Christ. Yes, thank you. Namaste. Oh, let there be light, and there was light.